President Trump arrived at a conference that is preoccupied with the threat posed by climate change in a blizzard of carbon dioxide, transferring from Marine One to a cavalcade of 4x4s. Waiting for him was Greta Thunberg, a teenager who has become the instantly recognisable face of climate activism. The World Economic Forum has put global warming at the top of its agenda, but President Trump has different priorities. He used his speech to heads of state and business leaders to trumpet his achievements in office.
We've regained our stride, rediscovered our spirit, and reawakened the powerful machinery of American enterprise.
For half an hour, Greta Thunberg listened in silence. Trump pledged to help plant 1 trillion trees, but he made no mention of climate change and had this to say about climate activists.
This is not a time for pessimism. This is a time for optimism. To embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse.
It was a clear attack on climate activism, and Greta Thunberg responded almost immediately in a speech which felt like it was directed at the president.
You say, just leave this to us. We will fix this. We promise we won't let you down. Don't be so pessimistic. And then, nothing. Silence. Or something worse than silence. Empty words and promises.
President Trump plans to plant trees, but he is also withdrawing America from the Paris Agreement, in which countries pledged to cut their carbon emissions. And he stopped funding for poorer nations affected by global warming. Mr. President, are you in denial about climate change, sir? Why don't you believe the science of climate change?
Thank you very much, everybody.
The head of Greenpeace says Trump's promise to plant more trees is an inadequate response to the climate emergency.
What I understood is that he is continuing to pump out what the private bankers and the fossil fuel executives who are running the government, the Environmental Protection Agency, the State Department, want him to say.
The Australian government believes that climate change helped cause the bushfires, which have scorched an area twice the size of Belgium, causing suffering and distress. The Australian finance minister is here in Davos. President Trump doesn't seem to believe the science on climate change. Does that worry you?
I'm not a commentator on President Trump's beliefs. I was in the audience. I thought it was a great speech. It was a fantastic speech.
It didn't worry you? He didn't mention climate change?
I thought he delivered a great speech about the economic achievements of his government.
President Trump came to Davos to talk about trade and talk up the American economy. He doesn't seem to think global warming is an urgent problem, which poses a problem for those who do. And the science is on their side.